Good Wednesday morning. How are you? Hope you're having a good morning. Hope you're having a good week. I just was wondering if I had had a good week. I don't know. I haven't stopped to think about it. Actually, it's not. It's actually not bad. So I guess that makes it good, right? We can count on that. Sometimes you can say, "Let's see." No, actually, it's going pretty good. I hope you're having a good week too. I hope you're having a good month. My goodness, we're almost to May already. How did that happen, right? Boom, April's almost gone. So wow, it's crazy. I got a full calendar and I'm loving every minute of it. I hope you are too. Not my calendar, your calendar. I hope you have stuff to do. Hope you're getting to see people. Hope you're getting to hug somebody every now and then. Get this pandemic behind us, right? I know that physical touch is an important part of our emotional health. God designed it that way, but He also designed it that we would need a spiritual touch, spiritual hug too from Him. Oh, we need to get one every day, right? He gives hugs. We just don't always recognize it. We don't recognize sometimes the small things that happen throughout the day and the way all of His orchestration behind it sometimes. Even His peace, even us having His peace, having relationships, having time in His Word, all of those things were orchestrated before He said, "Let there be light." He planned on making a way for us to get back to Him. He planned on loving us forever. He planned on walking with us through time. He didn't just plant us here and then go away and go, I don't know what they're going to do, but we'll check in on them every so often. No, he put us here and then he planned on walking with us through time. He didn't abandon us to time. He didn't, I've been doing some, I've got a little study on time. That I don't have time to expand it yet, but I've done a little bit of study on time. It's quite fascinating when we think of time and eternity, and how we get so constricted by time. Our whole day. Look, I set my alarm at a certain time. I set the alarm to clock in for the aid job that I get paid for. I set an alarm to clock out so I don't forget to clock out. I set an alarm when I'm doing Chris's medicine. I set an alarm. We manage our time. And sometimes we become so time focused that we forget that God's not time focused. And sometimes that's frustrating because I'm like, okay, God, I got to have $100 by, and the bill's due at noon. What am I going to do? you know, and I know you said you would provide, and I get, maybe you don't, I get frustrated sometimes because I remind God that I'm stuck in time, even though He's eternal and He doesn't have that clock, right? And sometimes I think of time constraints, but He's not limited to that. Somehow in there, He birthed time. He set time. He set the sun, right? He set the sun in the sky, and He's told it to govern the seasons. It and the moon. He set the moon, right? And he said, govern the seasons. The sun comes up. That's an old term because we realize now the sun doesn't come up. The earth revolves around so that it looks like the sun is coming up. The sun's not moving. We are moving, right? And yet, when He created the sun, it was 3 days later before or when He created the sun, He created light on the first day. In the beginning, God said, let there be light, and there was light. But He didn't create the sun for about 3 days later. Doesn't that just blow your mind? So how, but He is light. So He just made light without sun. The sun is just an object in the sky that He set there so we could measure time. right? He didn't design 24 hours in a day. He just set everything in motion and we divided it out. How can we divide this out? I wonder how many years did it take them to divide it out to 24 hours and those hours into minutes. At least we're not using a sundial anymore, right? Maybe life was easier when we did. But then I wouldn't have all my alarms to tell me when to do all my stuff I got to do, right? So anyway, but I think about that and I think about how amazing God is. How much, you know, even as much as we desire a relationship with Him, and He desires a relationship with us. One of our scriptures, one of the scriptures I said, my handy dandy New Living this morning is what I read. Exodus 34:14. He is passionate about a relationship with His people. Are you His people? Is you saved? Are you a Christian? Are you a believer? Then if you are, you say yes, absolutely. Then you are His people, and He is passionate about a relationship with His people, and that means you. Does that not just blow your mind? And I'm way off of where I was going to start, or where I was going to end. I don't even know, but it just blows my mind that I am one person out of billions who have lived since Adam and Eve. Can we even count? how many people have lived since Adam and Eve? And out of all these billions of people, he knows me, even cares to know me, and not only just knows who I am. Oh yeah, well there's just gonna be this girl I'm gonna put down in about, she's gonna be born about 1960, and yeah, yeah, I don't know, she'll die whenever, she'll be down there. I know her. She's gonna write a few Bible study guides and some devotionals, and she's gonna really want to know me. I say I had to check in with her every now and then. No, he doesn't just know where he put me in time. He desires an intimate, that's a word we don't use a lot, or we don't use it right. He desires an intimate relationship with us. He wants to know what makes us tick. He already knows that. He wants us to know him so that we know what makes him tick. And you know what makes God tick? Us loving him back. It's like it completes a circuit. It's one thing when we get saved and we go, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. We learned that as children in Bible school, right? You remember going to a vacation Bible school? Those were the days, right? At the First Baptist Church at Wynniewood there. I liked vacation Bible school. We marched in, carried the flag. Well, I was too little. But we learned that scripture as a child. But think about that. He loves us. He wants to talk to us, to me. He knows where, not only does he know where he's going to put me in time, he knew all these billions of people down through time, where they were going to go. He knows us intimately. I can't fathom that. But isn't that a good thing? Because if we could fathom all these wonderful, amazing things about God, then what would be so amazing about him, right? What would be so supernatural about him? What would be so beyond us? He would, if he was human and just walked with us, which he became flesh, that's what I was reading this morning actually, and walked among us. The word became flesh and walked among us. But if that was all he ever did, and we could understand that, and we could understand everything about him, that he wouldn't be much of a god, right? And that's what I don't understand about people making idols out of like wood. I was reading in the Old Testament, I think it was yesterday morning, and they made an idol, maybe it was the day before, and they took some wood or some stone or something, and they made an idol and then bowed down to it. I'm like, how does that even work? If I make something, how is it greater than me? Right? How is it going to serve me? How is it going to bring me good luck? How is it going to, it's never going to talk back to me. It better not. And so but this God that we serve is more than that. We shouldn't be able to ever comprehend him. And yet he gives us wisdom and knowledge and insight into his being and who he is and what he's prepared for us. There's a scripture that says, it hasn't entered into the heart of man what God has prepared for those of us who love him. But the next verse says, but he's revealed that to us by our spirit. In our heart we can know that. In our heart we can know how much he loves us. In our heart we can understand his grace. In our heart, even though our brain goes, okay, wait, you just skipped me because I just really didn't get that. I clocked out there, right? And so time and eternity, his love, how he set the light, how he designed the earth, and knew right where we were going to be today, right now, seeking him. What an amazing God. What an amazing God. And so the scripture I wanted to read today was, I'm actually studying for our First John study coming up here in just a couple of weeks. I think it's 2 weeks from tomorrow night. We'll start our First John study. And I was actually studying for that. I was actually preparing, going through some of my notes. I'm like, well, that's a lot of questions. That's a lot of verses. I need to rewrite this one now. But so I went to John 1 because that was part of the study, and I was just reading. I love John 1 because it starts with the same words that Genesis starts with. In the beginning, in the beginning, the Word already existed. It just that just blow your mind. In the beginning, this is the beginning, but there's already stuff there. God's already there. The word's already there. His love is already there. His idea for us is already there. He's already prepared the way for us to get back to him before he said in the beginning, before the beginning began, the word was there. God was there. Wow, does that not just blow your mind? I just love God. So I was reading that and it came down to verse 14. It says, the word became human and lived here on earth among us. And listen to this. Here's where I wanted to go. It took me 10 minutes to get there. Surprise! Nobody's surprised. He was full of unfailing love and faithfulness. Now, the Greek actually says grace and truth. He was full of grace and truth, and they also translated that as unfailing love and faithfulness. Isn't that? And we could say he's the Prince of Peace, so he's full of grace, truth, mercy, compassion, passion, love, faithfulness, peace. The God of grace and peace, the God of comfort and patience is what I was reading last night. I was looking at that last night, because, or was it yesterday morning? There's a scripture that says he's the God of patience and comfort, and I thought that's an interesting combination. Patience and comfort. I have to think about that. But this says he's full of unfailing love. And you know what is so cool about that? He never changes. The sun comes up, the sun goes down. We go to sleep. We get up, the sun comes up. Well, maybe the sun comes up, then we get up. I don't know. The sun goes down every day after day, night after night. The cycle that he set into place. The sun, he said, you watch the day. To the moon, he said, you watch the night. You govern the seasons. They're still doing it because they're inanimate objects. They don't have the capacity to go, wow, God, you're awesome. Wow, God, I love you. Wow, God, you love me. Wow, God. Right? The sun just does what it's supposed to do. And we should do what we're supposed to do. But in the middle of that, we can say, wow, he has this way beyond mind blowing God knows right where I am right now. And he not only just knows that I'm sitting here in northwest Oklahoma City this morning, but he knows where I've been. He knows where I'm going. He knows what makes me tick, and I don't even always know that. Right? He knows where I trip up. He knows how much I want to serve him. He knows how I'm divided sometimes. I'm like, look, I really want to read the Bible, but there's this really good movie on. He knows when and yet he still loves me, and he still wants to know me, and he still is right there for us. And when I cry out in anguish, in pain, in sorrow, in grief, in joy, in just having a blast, he's right there. He didn't want to go anywhere else. So he came and he stayed. He made the earth, he came and he stayed. We're kind of more like we're inside of him. Like a baby in a womb. Not really, they're one together, one source, but we just have this whole existence inside of him. Isn't that an amazing thought? So today, here, let's bring this all down. Let's just think about today how amazing this God of peace is. Just think about today how amazing his mercy is, how rich he is in grace, how priceless it is to know the God of peace, patience, comfort, joy, and all these a whole package deal, right? Because he doesn't just give us part of himself. He doesn't say, well, I'm going to drop here a little bit and use a little pipe it here and drop this here and drop that. No, he just gives us all of who he is. We have access to God. Does that not just blow your mind? So today, that's going to be my meditation. It's just to know that I have access to God and to purposefully give him access to the hidden parts of my heart, the parts I don't want y'all to see, the parts I don't want anybody else to see. I want him to walk through there. Bring healing, bring joy, bring peace, bring comfort, whatever's needed, right? Because he knows better than I do what I need, right? Our words are so limited. So today, let's just rejoice in this God, this creator, the word who is alive, who came to live among us and never went home. He still wants to live among us. He still wants to live in us. He came, he stayed. And now for the rest, we get to walk with him through time and live with him through eternity. Isn't that cool? Lots of stuff to think about today. I hope I said something that made sense, and I hope I said something that blessed you today. Peace out. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.